What is up, internet land? I'm hitting the share button on the post. Good evening. It's the real Phil, all the way from Alaska, hanging out with me, your other host, the real Kirk, hanging out from Oregon for now. Not for long.
Yeah.
Is that news? Is that headline? Is that a headline for the show?
I'm shocked. Shocked.
Sure.
I tell you.
Shocked, you say. I know. Yep. In fact, I've got there'll be a video in Patreon tonight, the first of the Prepping for Bug Out series. So we did some preliminary work. So you guys will get it 24 to 48 hours before my YouTube channel, which has been rebranded. It is no longer Kirk Yourself. It is now the Free State Homestead or Free State Homestead. And so very excited about that.
I unliked it so I could like it again.
Oh, good. That makes me happy. Did you like the logo?
Does that help the algorithm?
I don't know.
I think I've seen it before, but yeah.
Here, I'll put it up. Let's see if anybody wants to talk about it. I'll put it up. Let's see it before we get into the heavy duty stuff here.
You go ahead. I'm switching YouTube profiles here so I can monitor the heathens.
Monitor the pagans over the Russian bot hacker jobbies. Here, let me see.
No, but it's now okay to talk about killing them, right? Is that what the Book of Faces said? It's okay to talk about killing Russians?
That's a rumor.
Oh.
That's a rumor.
Okay. I've been talking about it since, I don't know, 1986 or so.
Right. Well, I guess I have to send the picture over to myself. Oh, here we go.
Catch up to the times.
Catch up to the times, yo. Oh,
there we go. In the chat. All right.
In the chat.
Oh, I got to do the shares first, though. Hey, everybody, if you're watching, do a share to a different place.
To a different place. Share it to the Book of Faces.
Share it wherever.
Did you
I share it to Getter.
Did you share it to Getter? Did you share it to Rumble?
No, I don't have much of a profile happening on Rumble.
Yeah, I just barely have a profile. I don't even know how to use
other
it
people. Did you look and see? Do we have a profile?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I don't remember if we made one or not.
No, not yet, but we will soon.
We have one on MeWe.
Yeah, I don't even know that MeWe is a thing.
Sure it is.
Is anybody using MeWe?
I do.
Then there's this. Then there's a new platform that's all about free speech and stuff. I think it's got a bird. I think it's called Tweeter.
I heard William Shatner was the face.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I heard that a bunch of leftist pedophiles were leaving that platform in droves, and so that just makes me want to be on it more.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think that Elon Musk is any kind of savior to us, but I mean, I'm certainly not sad that he's at least fighting for some level of freedom. That makes me happy.
I think his little meme that he posted about him staying in the same spot and essentially conservatives staying in the same spot, and the demon rat party of evil people called Democrats, moved so extremely far to the left that it's just kind of left everybody with a sane mind on the conservative side.
Right.
Nobody's really moved or anything. It's just they've gotten so crazy and evil.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a Democrat, just log out now. I got nothing good to say to you. I don't know how you sleep at night.
Probably aren't going to fit in, especially not tonight. It's going to be interesting stuff. We got some things to talk about tonight. So, I'm still trying to get over the China virus or something. I don't know.
Get some Rona.
I don't know if I got the Rona or not, but it's definitely making me feel gross. I'm not 100% bad, but I'm not 100% good yet either. So, and I got some weird back pain. It's feels like somebody's stabbing me. I hope I'm not doing the really awful thing. If I'm doing the really awful thing, if I just throw up on the floor and keel over, feel free to call an ambulance in Oregon, okay? I don't think that's what's happening, but maybe.
Do I have to dial a 1 before the 911?
I don't know. You guys are a foreign country, so
1911.
Something like that. Okay, so if you see this logo pop up, this is your friend. You want to hang out with this friend. This is a good friend, right?
How many
here.
stars is that?
How many stars?
What's the meaning
I don't
of the
even
stars?
know. I don't know. A lot.
Oh, goodness.
Every
dot must have meaning.
It wasn't significant. It was just cool. It was a cool way to fill the bottom of the deal. So,
okay.
Here, let's count. We'll make something significant. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 stars. The number of states we actually need.
1. Alaska.
I disagree. There's a couple more.
Good.
The number of leftist states that we need to eliminate. 17. I mean, like if we vanished 17 left-leaning states right now, like the world would probably be a better place. So anyway, Free State Homestead. It's all about us and what is about to happen in our lives. Some really cool stuff you'll learn more about down the road. It is definitely a change in venue for me as a minister. It's going to be a change. It's going to be some big changes, big changes. You'll hear all kinds of things about it down the road. And it's going to be a good time. But since the powers that be, feel like, this church isn't very important. I have been put off like 10 days to get a meeting to talk to the powers that be above my pay grade. So I guess I can't make anything super official until I make it official with them, and they don't have time to meet with me. So anyway,
okay.
The people who go to this church, this building here that I'm sitting in right now, they know what's up. And that's all. They're the ones that matter right now. Family, friends, you guys know what matter. But I don't want to say anything officially on the internet until I have made an official declaration to the jackwagons that would, the professional bootlickers of the government at this point. So ask me how I really feel, Phil. Ask me. I dare you.
I don't want to see that filter come off.
No, you don't. Not yet. And I hope, I hope that filter never has to come off, as a matter of fact. I hope that we can continue in some level of relationship. I'd like to maybe remain a chaplain or something with this group of brokenness so that maybe I'd still have a vote. I could vote against.
I've yet to see a credentialed chaplain yet in our movement.
Oh, we have them. They're there.
Do we? Is there one or two that exist? I haven't seen them yet.
Yep, they're there.
I've seen some.
We've been told that we were going to be given credentials for chaplaincy in our movement about a dozen times, and then nobody ever returns our phone calls. But whatever. Okay, yeah, so we've got so Free State Homestead is a really great thing. Look it up on the internet. If you're watching this, please consider going over YouTube, search Free State Homestead. You're going to see my sermons are there. You're going to see that my pew videos are there. Not that there are enough of those videos. There needs to be more. But
pew videos,
those videos. Yeah. Those videos. Yeah. So we're going to do some more of those videos. And, we got a prepper series, that the Patreon folks will be getting first, the bug out, Prepping for Bug Out series. So we got video number 1 is made tonight. It will drop on Patreon. We might even watch it together in the bunker or something. That'd be fun.
Okay.
And then I'll upload it. But then every time I do a Prepping for Bug Out video, so whether it's getting the trailer ready for Bug Out, or whether it's getting the building out the ultimate Bug Out vehicle, those videos will drop on our Patreon page for the Prep Pastors Podcast 24 to 48 hours before they drop onto my personal YouTube channel. And that will be that way until Free State Homestead either has a Patreon or a Kajabi. I haven't decided which way we're going to go, to specifically support the move and those things. So not that I want to take away attention or funding or help from this channel. The Patreon or Kajabi setup that's going to be quite a bit different. It's going to be a lot bigger financial commitment than $3 to $5 a month for our silliness that we produce. We're going to be looking for like real supporters that would be willing to do like $25, $50, or $100 a month for a year commitment. We got some cool thank you gifts coming together, those kinds of things. And I finally was able to get logged into Patreon this morning in a way that I could actually get addresses when I need them. So Meg, she got her survival band, her survival bracelet, and her stainless steel chopsticks. And I don't know if I actually told you that was the other part of the gift to our patron members. But I made some really nice survival cord with the fishing line and the wick and all kinds of stuff as a thank you for our Patreon members. And then I also got some stainless steel chopsticks to give to all of our Patreon members to put in your go bags, because you need to be building go bags. Or, some people call it a bug out bag. I call it a get home bag. Most people are going to bug
There's
in.
different bags for different purposes. Yeah.
Some
people do need a bug out.
Yeah. Yeah. If you live in the Anchorage area, if you live in the Anchorage Basin, Meg says, I did. Thank you, Meg. You're awesome. She says she's already watching and chiming in. I did, and they are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. You're the best. Thanks, Meg. Cool. So yeah. We're going to be doing all kinds of dropping and launching and doing new things, and information is coming forthwith. Hopefully after next Wednesday, we'll be able to talk a little bit more openly and freely and all that stuff. So, Phil, how are you doing up in Alaska, man? What's going on in your world?
It's too hot up here. I'm ready for winter.
Dude, you are the American polar bear. You are 100% like, your fur is clear, and you would just assume be on a snowpack somewhere or in icy cold water.
Yes.
I've watched Phil jump into icy cold water. Phil will do crazy wild things for a brand new cell phone. I have watched him jump into the Kenai River to go fish out a brand new, and it was not even a good cell phone. It was like a Samsung Galaxy, some BS or something or other. I don't remember what it was, but it was brand new, wasn't it? Like days old.
I don't know. Probably.
Do you remember this, or has your brain erased it from your mind?
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the Kenai River a couple of times.
Yeah. I got to watch like someone truly respond to like.
It was supposed to be cold. It said glacier fed. Wasn't that cold.
Whatever, man. I watched you like roll straight into hypothermia protocols, man. You were like in the warm shower, eating food. Took you like hours to feel ready again.
Maybe an hour.
Oh, it was rad. It was so funny, man. That was a heck of a day. I would have done the same thing. Listen, I mean, if I had a brand new iPhone and it slipped out of my pocket into the river, you better believe I'd have been like, kablunk, and here I go. I was impressed that you found it. I mean, I thought that was rad. It did help that we were at your home. Like, you didn't even have to think about it, because there's no like risk of, oh my gosh, am I going to get to the truck in time before I'm hypothermic? Am I going to get to my go bag where I can, boil a packet of soup or get an MRE in me? Like, you literally just went up the stairs and got dressed. Like, you changed your clothes.
I've trained for Arctic survival and been exposed to and had practical exams in Arctic immersion, cold water immersion. So, right. Like you say, if we weren't at my house, I mean, it was still a 200-300 foot walk.
Yeah, you had to climb the stairs.
There was some things to get there.
You were a little shaky.
And I think I told you before I went in, didn't I?
You did. You're like, I'm going in. Like, I'm going to get my phone right now. And I was like, okay, go.
Yeah. So, I did all the steps. I would have taken an extra 10 or 15 minutes if we weren't there to have done the other prep steps. But
Right. Well, the nice thing about cell phones is typically they fall, for the most part, straight down, and they just go sit on the bottom.
Yeah, I knew the search area was only going to be 5 or 6 feet in length and 2 to 3 feet in width.
Have you ever watched
I
that?
think it was only 8 feet there. So
have you ever watched that super cool kid on YouTube, Man versus River?
No.
So he like goes into these really popular rivers where people float, and he'll scuba dive or snorkel and go along the bottom and find all kinds of cool stuff.
I've seen YouTube channels that do that.
And he's always pulling up a dry bag with a cell phone, or he'll find a cell phone that's super waterlogged. He'll dry it out, power it up, find the owner, call him up. He'll fly across the country to deliver it.
What?
Oh yeah, he's really cool. And he'll give you, and if he finds your cell phone, he'll bring you a T-shirt, you know, and stuff. I mean, it's really, really cool. It's a fun channel. If you just want to watch something encouraging, him and his buddies, they go out and they'll do float trips.
I've watched the guys that do the body searches as a nonprofit to help people get closure.
Meg does that. Meg's a volunteer. She does that, and her dog Maverick is trained in water recovery and cadaver stuff, and so yeah, they are really they're really, really excellent at that stuff. So that's the less fun side of it, man. I was talking about finding technology in the river, and you had to go all dark with the bodies and stuff, man. Like, but it is important to know that there are people out there doing that.
Yeah, there's absolutely zero bodies to be found in front of my part of the river.
Yeah. Good to know.
No reason to look.
No reason to look. Copy that. Got it. So we got some news, man. We got news to talk about tonight. I don't even know where we want to start, bro. I mean, we want to start
speaking of making bodies disappear, how about those demon rats that are camping out at the various Supreme Court justices' house and threatening their lives?
Yeah, man.
And
so
our executive branch says, "Oh, that's not our responsibility to do anything about that. It's not the government's job to protect the Supreme Court representatives."
Yeah, the Supreme Court judges. I love that Psaki, basically because she hates these people, because the Biden administration hates these people, all of the sudden they have no obligation to protect Supreme Court justices. Isn't that convenient? People that they need desperately to die. That's the only way. Dying or retiring is the only way to get removed from the Supreme Court. A group of people that they need to die, that they would just
and they just happen to mention that.
Remove the standard of protection. I say the blood of those people are on their heads and hands. May God have mercy on their souls.
I said the day is quickly coming where those who call themselves patriots must stand up and do something.
It's coming. The days are coming. I mean, you
certainly had better get your poop in a group to be able to do it.
What's the old axiom? The tree of liberty is
liberty.
Yeah, is refreshed by the blood of patriots and tyrants alike.
Tyrants.
Yeah. So I'm tired of watching it only be
one-sided,
watered by the blood of patriots. I'm tired of watching corrupt businessmen turned politicians, leaving our soldiers in Afghanistan and just allowing 13 of them to be murdered because they decided to be poor managers. I'm tired of that blood watering the tree. I'm ready for somebody else's to water the tree. And we're going to get censored off of Facebook or YouTube tonight. I think tonight's the night. If it's going to happen, Good. It's going to happen tonight. So yeah, that's for me. I'm sick of it, man. And so yeah, you should be praying. You should be praying, actively praying for our conservative Supreme Court justices. Like if you
pray for them all.
We should pray for our enemies. We should love our enemies and pray for them. That is true. So we should be praying for our Supreme Court justices because, quite frankly, if they die right now inside of this administration, they will be replaced by leftist party members that are 100% about totalitarian takeover of this country. So please, please, please know that is 100% coming down the pipe. If you are not ready for that, you need to get ready for that. That is a big, big deal. That actually leads me into, so why are they doing this? Why is all of this happening? Because there's a leaked report, basically that there has been a majority decision that they were working out the details of how and when and what they were going to say that was basically going to some people say overturn Roe v. Wade, other people say dismantle There's some different takes.
Looked like a majority decision, so that has ramifications.
That has very big ramifications. And so right now, these leftist people who they only know how to respond with violence when they don't get their way. They only know, like, we're the only team that plays by the rules, folks. People, and I know that some of you are like, well, January 6th, that's right. Listen, people stood where they weren't supposed to stand, and unarmed people got shot by corrupt law enforcement. So don't tell me that was an insurrection. That was a riot at worst. It was trespassing is what that was. Except for, is it really trespassing, Phil? If
you get invited in and the doors are held open,
and,
no, I don't think that counts.
Belongs to you? Like, I mean, those are all American citizens.
Another fair point. Yeah. Fair point.
So whatever. But needless to say, the people our folks did not react with violence. That was
Pelosi's family member, so maybe he thought he was allowed there. I mean, it was his aunt or whatever, aunt-in-law or whatever.
I'm pretty sure it was his mom. But whatever,
was it mom?
Yeah, Pelosi's his mom. This is Pelosi's son was there. And we had a lot of federal officers telling them that they should and could go into the Capitol. There was a lot of federal officers standing in the crowd going, guys, we should go in the Capitol. Let's go in the Capitol. Hey, everybody, let's go in the Capitol.
I heard that 12 or 16 of them were card-carrying, credentialed, sworn FBI and got suspended this week.
Did they get suspended?
A bunch of them got suspended.
Oh, that's awesome news. I love it. Why aren't they in prison alongside the people who are still being held without a warrant and without a hearing?
Or just dead.
Well, that works too. So the reason why we bring up the Supreme Court, listen, you need to be ready for extremist violence. I think I absolutely believe there's going to be terrorist activity. There are. So let me tell you who you need to watch out for. We've got an incredible organization. I don't want to name them on this broadcast. We've got an incredible organization whom I am deeply connected to. I've produced video products for. I've served them with my time, talent, and treasure. And we'll just call them a crisis pregnancy center. That's not what they are. They're way more than that. But you need to watch out for those places. You got a couple hours to volunteer a week. You got your concealed carry permit. You might want to think about like volunteering at your local crisis pregnancy center and going down
USCCA before you do it. But yeah,
maybe go hang out with USCCA before you do it. That's probably a really good idea. I could provide you a link that would get me some neat in-store credit if you wanted to use my my link. But they aren't really paying us cash or anything. They're not a sponsor, but USCCA, you're welcome to sponsor this podcast. If you'd like, we would welcome you right now. We wouldn't even have to, I don't even think we'd have to take a vote. Would we have to take a vote if they wanted to sponsor?
You and I've been giving them money for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So anyway, grab your USCCA membership, go down, volunteer at the Crisis Pregnancy Center, or you know what?
If you're praying for it, it's at least as good as prepaid legal in the South. It will get you out of parking tickets for sure.
I don't think they do parking tickets. But anyway. So you're gonna get us in trouble, man. Now they're not gonna want to sponsor because you're telling them. Anyway, no. Anyway, you guys.
Depends on where I park my ammunition.
Volunteer. Go down. Sit there. Be a security guard. Go down and or. Here's an idea. You don't want to volunteer officially. You don't want to go down there. Go call up your local crisis pregnancy center and be like, hey, I just want you to know that I'm a Jesus follower and I love you. And I'm just going to come sit in your parking lot for a few hours and pray for you today. Like, you don't have to tell them I'm sitting. Don't call them up and be like, hey, I got this special 3-letter tool that starts with G and ends with un. And I'm going to go sit in your parking lot for the rest. That will spook them right out. Don't do that. Unless
especially in Oregon.
Yeah, unless you have a deep, abiding relationship with that crisis pregnancy center, the director, please. I
was going to say, it is absolutely not the recommendation of this show or neither one of us that you, as an untrained, unsworn person, go and choose to use your own personal protective firearms to insert yourself into other situations that you don't know anything about.
But if you happen to be there praying, and the enemy.
If someone does something against you personally,
there you go. You feared for your life, you emptied the mag. You feared for your life, you emptied the mag. So
shoot, shovel, shut up.
There you go. So please, would you be praying? Would you be praying for God-honoring doctors that don't perform abortions? Would you be praying for crisis pregnancy centers or medical clinics that provide ultrasounds to rescue babies? Would you please be praying for these places that save lives, thousands of lives a year?
Yep.
Okay, because they are going to become the target of the enemy.
Targets.
Yeah. The enemy. They have been. So it's like at this point, I know that a lot of Christians go out and they do the, let's go protest. Oh, I hate the clinic. Right. Like how about let's do some support protesting. How about some pro-life sting, right? Like, let's do that. Let's go get some picket signs and go like, we love this place. They save babies. That is awesome. If they want you to, they might not want that kind of press. They might not want that attention right now, but
they kind of need to be located in areas that are where they're not seen very nicely. So
yeah, I may or may not be like installing a special locked box in my local one with tools inside of it, just in case. I may or may not be. I may or may not be doing that. But anyway, so
point front towards enemy.
Exactly, front towards enemy. That's exactly right. So, that's what but listen, guys, I think we're going to see a season of civil unrest. I think we're going to see civil unrest.
We might see some civil unrest.
That's going to make the George Floyd nonsense look like a cakewalk.
Because some of us are not going to stand by when it gets into our own backyard.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That's
not going to go down the same. It's like when they mistakenly messed around with the Hell's Angels there in Portland.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Wrong house.
What is the video, or what is the reel? Today's not the day, and I'm not the one. And that was exactly. Except I don't think those Hell's Angels, any of them, had a British accent when they walked out the door. I'm pretty sure they just went. Not. And then you know what was rad about that?
It's like a scene right out of American History X.
That whole neighborhood went.
Yeah,
we didn't see nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course not.
No, got no clue. No. Sorry. But needless to say, I think if a few more communities stood up like that, less crazy.
What's needed.
Yeah. Less crazy communist BS, less Marxism noise would be trying to be forced down our throats. So please be praying for our medical centers that provide those things. Please be praying for our crisis pregnancy centers. I am friends with a director here where I live. I'm friends with the director of the matching one of the same organization down the road, 19 miles away, in the other community there I live. I'm friends with the director of one in Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm friends with one the director of one in Missouri. Please, would you be praying for these places? Would you, if you don't know one personally, if you don't know of the one that's in your community, well, then pray for one of the ones that I just listed, because those are my friends and I love them and believe in them, and so yeah, you guys, it's gonna get hot. There's gonna be some serious kinetic civil unrest in this country. You're probably not going to hear a lot about it because it's going to be perpetrated by leftists, so they're going to do a great job of covering it up.
It's not going to be on the news.
Yeah, probably not going to be on the news unless it's on one of the little tickers along the bottom. You need
if you're watching those news stations, you're not watching news anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I'm reading 1984 right now.
So is the Biden warehouse. Yeah.
Yes.
Biden executive.
Yeah, they're reading it like a playbook, and I'm reading it like a warning.
They're like going cut and paste.
Right. Like, thought police? That might be that might be too inflammatory. What if we called them the government disinformation group? What if we called them that instead of the thought police? Anyway, so yeah, basically, guys, We need to be in prayer. We need to be praying.
Basically, we're at war.
We're walking into a serious dark time right now.
This is war. This is the end of the nation.
I think we're getting there. I think it's getting real close. In inflation news, dear friend Tracy, listen, if you are a pet person, Meg's watching. She's a pet person. She's got a gigantoid Maligator. Meg, how many pounds of food does Maverick eat per day? Now, Meg, if we're being really honest, Meg probably gets a really nice employee discount when she goes to buy her puppy chow. Not that she would ever feed Maverick puppy chow, but when she goes to get the kibbles for Maverick, she probably gets a little employee discount. But I will tell you that I've had a handful of friends reach out to me going, our cat food is up 150%. Our dog food is up 150%. Right? Listen.
Everything's up. So
say that again, Phil.
Everything is up. Yeah, it's that's the thing. This really is just no surprise and not new. And when you prep for yourself, you prep for your family and who's in your family. So unless you plan on kicking your cats outside to be barn cats or something,
right?
I hope you put food away for them, because otherwise you're going to be feeding them yours, or you're going to be eating theirs. I don't know, one of the both.
Correct. Listen, if you don't like, okay, you don't want chickens because you don't like to eat eggs. Your dogs do. You could have 2 or 3 chickens in the backyard, and you could be feeding them your table scraps, and they could be making eggs, which would be protein for your dogs. Like you have no excuses at this point. Like what,
neighborhood cats.
Neighborhood cats. Yeah. Neighborhood cats. Don't feed your chickens to the neighborhood cats. That's at that point. Yeah. You can feed the neighborhood cats to the dogs. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Or the chickens. Yeah. Or the, the Korean barbecue place.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So, So listen, get a couple chickens. I'm so happy today. Well, okay, I'm torn.
Well, get them before the government kills them all, because they've declared avian flu and they're killing all the chickens everywhere.
Yeah, they are. I'm really, really excited that Free State Homestead took delivery last week of 25 layers. I'm so excited to build out a laying chicken tractor. Let's see. Meg says oofed. She says oofed. Let's not count pounds of food. That's awesome. There's quite a bit of delay, Meg. Sorry about this, but even costs have gone up. So I feel even with my perks, glad I stocked up when I did things for him and me. Good job, Meg. That's the way to live, right there. Okay, so she saw hard times coming. So like I used for my friends up in Minnesota that were talking to me about their pet food shortage. They said that their pet food went from like $14 or $15 to like $40 or some silliness, if they could find it at all. And she said, I said, well, have you checked Walmart.com? Have you checked Walmart.com? And she's like, oh yeah, Walmart doesn't carry our pet food. I was like, but did you check Walmart.com? And so she did, and they had it, but they limited her to 5 bags. And I was like, cool. Now your husband needs to go set up an account and go buy 5 bags.
They're not as sophisticated as Amazon. So as soon as you check out, you can order another 5.
She can order another 5. It's just, that's all you can do is check. Okay. Good to know. I will let her know.
Amazon though keeps track, and if you're logged in, you have to make new accounts.
Yeah. And even then I've ran into like, we've already shipped the limit of those to that address. So then you need to have like a church that you can ship it to.
Well, yeah. You and I did the, was it wide mouth lids last week live?
Yeah. Yep.
Did yours come through? Because I just got the email.
Not yet, but I got I got a tracking notice. So they're almost here.
I got we're out of stock and we canceled your order notice.
Oh, really?
Which is about the 3rd time that's happened to me.
Uh-oh. That's not good. Let me double check. Maybe they canceled my order.
Well, it immediately allowed me to order again, which I do, but I've also been doing that for Texas Pete for a month, and they still they cancel every time on me. So That's all right.
Mine shipped.
Yeah.
I thought
it's an Alaska thing. They go, oh, wait a minute. That's Alaska. Oh, we're out of stock. Sure you are. Yep.
Yeah. I got 10.
Oh, excuse me.
I got 10, 12 packs.
Everybody's faces. Did you smell that?
No, I didn't. Thankfully, we don't have smell-o-vision. That's good. That's good news.
Oh, goodness.
I got another package today. Or not
you did?
Today. I got another package. Not necessarily today, but I got it earlier this week. I got other things.
That on this show? You're not gonna save for the bunker?
No, you saved yours for the bunker. I'm just like I got a new hat. I got a new hat this week, so I'm very excited. And I was supposed to. My friend Josh was supposed to be on the show tonight, talking about. I don't have my ear pro set up on it yet, so yep. So I'm very excited. My friend Josh was supposed to be on the show tonight, telling us about some things that might clip on to the front of this device.
Like a GoPro?
Sure, like a GoPro. Yeah.
Like
other
GoPro.
electronic devices that might be there. So
just throw it.
Just throw it? I'm not going to throw it.
No.
Not going to throw it.
Not a good idea. They only take so many impacts.
Yeah. Thankfully, they're not quite a one-hit wonder, but they are pretty cool. So I'm very excited. God willing, and if the creek don't rise and the move goes smoothly,
you'll never need it.
I'll never need it. But also, if God wills it the other way, there might be something attached to the front of that. That will never get shown outside of the bunker, but we'll see what happens. It might be a GoPro.
You see it, it may not be good for you.
If you see it, it might not be good for you. That's right. Hey, there's this weird little blinky light from over. Click, you're done. It's over.
Nope. Yep.
It's over. You have cashed your final check, Batman. Speaking of Batman, in the news,
Batman.
Are you excited? Are you excited for Twilight to play Batman?
What? What are you talking about?
The new Batman. The Batman is out. Is coming out. And I mean, like, and it's the dude from freaking Twilight.
Vampire Batman.
Vampire Batman.
Snowflake Batman.
Snowflake. They said it's like a legit Gen X Gen X Batman. Basically, like all of the villains are like influencers and have like TikTok channels and stuff, and they're
That's not Gen X. That's Z or Y, right?
Or Gen Z. That's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah, we're Gen X. Sorry. Gen Z. Legitimate Gen Zers. I mean, we're influencers. We got like 4 or 5 people watching.
I'm an influencer. I've got at least 5 people that listen to me a month.
I know. Me too.
Including the dogs.
All right. So seriously, guys, I mean, inflation news goes back to like what Meg said. Did you get enough? Did you stock up enough before the things went crazy? If not, stock up now. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
I know you guys have got to get sick of listening to us tell you to buy food every week. Hopefully somebody's going to be like, dude, I'm sick of it. I've bought all the food. What else should we buy? And we could talk about
ammunition.
Ammunition.
Gold, silver.
Yeah. Gold, silver. Listen,
Neighbors.
Precious metals include gold, silver, lead, and aluminum. Okay. If you don't know what the aluminum part is, call me and we'll talk about it on Signal. I'm going to be crafting some aluminum later tonight, but, so seriously, you guys, I know you guys have got to get sick of it, but it's like this. Charles Spurgeon talked about, he had a group of guys in his church. Dr. Charles Spurgeon was one of they call him the Prince of Preachers. Right. He had a larger vocabulary than William Shakespeare. Okay. And he preached basically the cross and resurrection of Jesus every Sunday morning for about 20 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And
all public appearances.
Yeah. All public appearances. Message. Basically all he preached was the cross and the resurrection of Jesus. And group after group after group out. He had a huge church, large church, and he had large events. Like he was like the Billy Graham before Billy Graham was Billy Graham, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And so people would come and be like, why don't you ever, there's the rest of the Bible, there's Old Testament, there's great stuff. And we need to learn the rest of the Bible. And he's like, listen, I'll stop preaching the cross and the resurrection when you start getting it. Okay. That was basically his response. Okay. And I'm going to stop telling you to buy food until there is no food left. Okay. So
totally agree, Meg.
Yep.
I'm right there with you.
Thank you, Meg. Yep. Keep telling people to stock up. I was honestly, quote,
even
prepared,
though it's too late,
but not prepared until I started watching you guys. Really nice to know I don't have to shop unless I want to. Keep saying it. Meg, that's exciting to know. That's exactly right. That's where we need to land as believers, okay? As believers. And even if you're not a believer, you're watching the show because you got two weird preachers that are talking about readiness. Maybe you're just all prepper all the time. But for those of us like Meg and I and Phil and the other people, that most of the folks that watch this show, if you're a believer, here's the story. Scripture says a wise man foresees evil, right? A wise person, Meg, my wise person. A wise person foresees evil and hides themselves. That doesn't mean you dug a hole in the side of a hill and you cowered in fear. We are not called to live in fear. We're not called to hide ourselves.
I dug a pillbox.
We're talking about, yeah. If we're talking now, that kind of hide yourself, I'm down with that. Hide yourself, if you go back to the original Hebrew, basically means readies themselves, prepares themselves for hard times. Okay. So yes, like Meg said, we are going to continue to tell you week after week after week, stock up, stock up, stock up until there is nothing left to stock up. When the stores are bare and the lights are off, I hope there's a little echoey voice chanting in the back of your brain, an angry preacher from, well, not from Oregon, but in Oregon, and an angry preacher in Alaska going, hey, buy food, canned meat, Walmart.com, go to Coastal, get your dog's food, do the things, right? I hope that we just
load mags. It's time to load mags.
Load mags. Load mags. Do you have empty mags? Load them up. I got
28
empty ones right now.
28 unless you got Daniel Defense ones like me, then you load to 30.
Right. There you go. 28.
Yeah.
28. Do you have what you need to keep what you have prepped? Do you have what you need? Are you stocked and ready to go? Right.
Will you have to stand idly by and watch others?
Right. I know a lot of a lot of our viewers, like they either have fur missiles or they have, other self-defense tools, right? I'm not going to out anybody in what they have or what they carry, but listen, do you have?
But some people carry a Glock and have to carry two.
Bro, you're killing me.
Well, you know why it's a New York trigger in the Glocks?
I don't have a New York trigger.
Yeah, and New York reloads.
I don't have a New York reload.
The New York reload comes from...
Those used to be the Old West reloads when you threw down your revolver and grabbed another revolver. Okay,
now it's called a New York reload because you can only have so many rounds of ammunition in your magazine anyway, and then the trigger, it was so hard it doesn't work. So you got to have a second gun.
Right. There you go. Okay, good stuff. I don't have New York triggers in my Glocks, so anyway. But no, seriously, you guys. Do you have the self-defense tools? Do you have the ability to keep what you've prepped? Okay.
Oh. You remember spring back, spring forward, whatever, the sucking the life out of us from time zones?
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody says make sure you change the batteries in your smoke detectors, right? Because that's a big deal.
Or in the optics.
You're still my thunder. That's what I was going to say because I forgot and my RMR died.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. My RMR on my office gun, the office carbine that I used to shoot out the window at somebody, messing with the truck.
Yeah.
The RMR on top of that died. So.
Oh, bummer.
I know.
Yeah. Yep. That's generally when I change the batteries and everything. Smoke detectors.
That's right. Because I just kind of went like this. Slight can't.
There you go. Yeah.
No big deal.
So.
No big deal.
So hopefully you have the things that you need. Hopefully you've got the stuff. And now you've got the defensive tools, right? I mean, let's say, do you have like a basic loadout? Good shotgun, good carbine, good pistol, good secondary pistol, right? And
fixed blade knife.
Good fixed blade knife, right? Those kinds of things. Tools to fix those things, and then start duplicating. Okay. And then when you've got a backup to all of those things, maybe start looking at, some body armor, maybe start looking at, so this is keeps some of the little bullets off of my brain pan. Maybe you get a chest rig, right? You guys have seen me broadcast the show wearing my chest rig. And so I'm actually upgrading my chest rig again this week. So I'm excited about that. That makes me happy. Cause I'm still just a tiny little bit too fluffy for the 511. I bought the 511. I was excited about the 511. It's very comfortable. I'm still just a little bit too fluffy for that one. So I'm going to spend a little bit extra money and go with one that John Lovell recommends and from the War Poet store. So it's about $200, and then the front panel is going to be another $115. So yeah. So do you guys have some body armor? Right? You guys have maybe Meg works with the sheriff's department. Maybe she could get some that's even decommissioned, right? Maybe you could get an old set. Old's better than none. But spend the money if you got it. Like, go get some new stuff.
It's not that much money. Anybody can afford some AR-500.
Right.
It's $200. It's $200 to go steal level 4. Just, it's heavy.
Memorial Day is coming up. I don't recommend giving AR-500 any money. I think they're the worst company out there. But if you want AR-500 steel, go to Spartan Armory. Go check them out.
I use Spartan.
They're not a sponsor. We don't have any sponsors. We do. One unnamed business that can't be outed. One church and two dudes and some patrons. That's what we got. That's what we got.
I like Spartan stuff. Although I have never shot it.
Right. I've watched labs, and I've watched extensive testing on it. I got to trust those folks who are doing it, doing the things. That's better than nothing.
I don't like that their top of the line level 4 stuff. The multi-hit ceramics does not come in fat guy size.
That's true.
It's large sappy only, or medium sappy, I think.
My favorite right now, as far as the middle tier, not stupid heavy, you can get through U.S. Tactical Supply, which is they're a great company. They left Albany, Oregon, and they moved to Idaho, I believe. I think they're in Mountain Home or something. They were like, we out, peace. Yeah. So I got lots of extra respect for them. They offer law enforcement discounts for both volunteers and active law enforcement, right? So Meg, you call them up, be like, hey, I'm a volunteer with the Sheriff's Department. They would hook you up. They have a company that they deal with called Bulletproof It, and they have a combo ceramic poly plate. It's still heavy, but it's not as heavy as AR-500, and it is a 4+ rated. It's just it's thick. Okay, so it's not. It's you're taking on bulk.
Ceramics are pretty thick
to cut down weight.
Yeah.
So there's, I think my plates are somewhere around, I know that I cut off 8 pounds switching from AR-500 steel to Bulletproof It, through U.S. Tactical Supply. And so those guys, that's a really great one. They're not the kind of ceramic that you have to worry about. Like if you drop your vest, it's going to crack. Like back in the day, you had to be really, really careful with your plate. These have a poly webbing, almost like a Kevlar woven, stuff around it.
It's a spall containment, but
it's spall containment. It's really good. It's just very thick. Right. And so I'm pretty sure my whole vest without the placard with mags and med kit and stuff, I think my vest is like 16 pounds, which I was like 22 before. So
let's see,
not bad. And they're about 150 a plate without the discount. Okay.
Mine weighs 6 pounds a piece.
If you're going to drop $200 on plates, can I just tell you, you would be very, 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 very happy if you waited until you could drop $300 on plates, and you at least bought something slightly lighter.
I honestly, I have a hard time recommending anything lower than a 4.
Yeah, you want to be 4. You want to be 4 or 4+ is where you want to be.
Multi-hit 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
multi-hit 4, which this stuff is, so that makes me happy.
Kids are running around with, rifles.
Yeah.
Carbines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
not
lots
everybody
of...
carries
so
a 9mm.
Yeah, not everybody carries a 9mm. And quite frankly, 9mm a smaller, faster round and can penetrate some of the soft, thin level 3 body armor better than better than some other stuff. And body armor is one of the things that this regime wants to make illegal. They do not believe that regular civilians should have access to body armor.
Right.
So, if you're going to stock up on something something that they are telling you they're going to try to take from you. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you have one of those scary black rifles, right? Make sure you have
one of those that, when you buy tires for your SUV, do you buy them 2 at a time?
Right.
Or do you buy them 6 at a time? Like I do.
There you go.
To rotate your spares.
There you go.
If you buy 1, buy 2. 1 is none, 2 is 1. That's kind of the deal. Correct. And it hurts when you're spending $1,200 for plates.
Yep.
I know.
Watch 511 around Memorial Day. A lot of the
511 sell plates?
Huh? No, they don't have plates, but they have carriers. Well, I was shifting to carriers. So
okay.
So you
I'm
get
cool
a good,
with 1 carrier, but 2 sets of plates.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Absolutely.
If you want to be able to swap your plates out.
Sure, yeah. I mean, because if you actually ever have to use them, understand when the lights go out, there are no more resupplies. There are no more resupplies.
Well, yes, but all the normal resupply places that have like Biden signs, they're not going to have plates to get.
That's right. You're going to have to wait for the Russians to fall out of the sky.
And they don't have good gear.
No, they don't have good gear. Ukraine is proving that right now.
Yeah.
So speaking of Russia. Okay. So
speaking in Russian.
So tonight's title is Attack Imminent ? Okay.
Oh.
Listen, I think that we have to at least have a real conversation about what May 9th represents. Okay. May 9th is what they call Victory Day in Russia, which is really funny considering I'm rereading 1984 and everything is Victory Day and Victory Gin and Victory this and that and Victory, whatever. But Victory Day, what day does that is the day that they proclaimed victory over the Nazis, and they ended a war that took 10 million Russian lives. Now, I know real historians can look at the Battle of Leningrad and go, well, they shot as many of their own people as they tried to retreat and flee away. All right, I got it. 10 million of their people died in the conflict with the Nazis. Let me say it that way, okay? They are very emotionally attached to Victory Day. It is the 4th of July, Christmas and Easter rolled into one for their people. And they are so brainwashed and they are so amped and they are so nationalistic that they, it is not a far cry. It is not a super wacky theory. If Putin was going to do something crazy, okay, that it would happen on the 9th. Okay, they've been doing major big parades, getting ready for the 9th. They've been flying the Doomsday plane over Moscow. They've been doing a lot of stuff that has been amping up their people's propaganda. There has been some like really real false flag stuff going on in Russia that has been galvanizing the Russian people for a bigger scenario. Okay, so when I say attack imminent ? I'm not trying to be a fearmonger. I'm not trying to do clickbait. I'm not trying to do those things. What I'm trying to say is you need to pay attention. If you've got a few big ticket items that you want to get a hold of, if you can, get a hold of them by the 9th. Now, if I'm wrong, and I hope I am, okay, and they don't start flinging tactical nukes at Ireland, which they threatened to do this week, if they don't start flinging tactical nukes at Finland or Sweden, as they threatened to do this week. You need to know that if you do a big push and you go stock and buy a bunch of groceries, buy a bunch of dog food, buy a bunch of cat food, buy a bunch of stuff, buy yourself a helmet, buy yourself some body armor. You do that this week, okay? At least you know you bought it cheaper than you'll be able to buy it in a few months. Because in a few months, the prices are just going to go up. Okay?
Yeah, or even if they don't, the value of the money will go down.
Correct. So please be wise, please be smart, and understand that things are not, just because you're hearing about them less. Look what the media is doing. Phil, this is great, okay? What are you seeing? What are you seeing when you open your phone, whether it be on Suckbook, YouTube, we commented that even the Daily Wire was consumed by it last week. What do you see every time you open your phone?
Amber taking a poop in a bed.
Amber taking a poop in a bed. Johnny Depp this. Smirking at the judge for that. Laughing at a stupid attorney for this or that. The videos are all over the place. Listen, why do you think that we are inundated by comedians being attacked on stage? Why do you think we're being inundated why do you think they leaked Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court stuff? Okay? Because they want us looking away from Europe. It is not ramping down. It is not getting better. It is not something that we need to stop talking about, okay?
No, and Biden's sending another $33 billion.
$33 billion. We've got people like legitimately getting hungry out here, people. We've got people who are legitimately
getting activated and deployed. I don't know about you, but I've seen at least 2 in my hometown here, which is not a military town anymore.
Right.
I'm seeing a lot of Guard soldiers getting activation orders.
I'm watching
1-year activations.
I'm watching active duty guys that are in the Air Force getting transferred from Asia to Germany.
That's right.
Because that's where they're, when you're talking about air traffic controllers, like getting repositioned, they're anticipating some action, you guys. Okay. So please pay attention. Please. I'm going to ruin a surprise.
Meg's got a good point.
Did I miss right?
Thanks, Meg. Pay attention to what?
Right.
So you and I don't know about you. Most of my news comes from the Daily Wire.
Right.
And the Daily Wire, we're kind of throwing some shade at them because they've got Christian Toto, who is an absolute leftist douchebag.
Right.
He's got a snake in the grass. They've got snakes, in the grass at Daily Wire.
They're trying to look balanced.
Fill space.
They're trying to create the illusion of balance.
It's a mistake.
But
the membership to them, I don't know what it is. The membership to where you get to see the member only news,
right,
is not a lot.
You and I $100 a year.
I don't know what you have. I think it's $20-$30 a year for read only news.
Probably.
It's not very much. Yeah. That is by far, they've got good information. But from there's a lot of available stuff if you just go to the people who are talking about it.
Yep.
So, I would avoid Glenn Beck, but not entirely.
No, I think actually Glenn Beck's a pretty decent source at this point. He's a Blaze member, he's a co-owner.
I'm watching veterans that have been either are in or have been in the communities
right
that are involved.
Right.
Because their friends are still activated. Their family members are serving.
Yep.
And they're sort of, I wouldn't say leaking, but they're talking about the right topics.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Their eyes are open.
I like, if you want a little humor mixed into your news, I think Crowder's a good, decent, he's got some fun stuff.
He gets off topic too.
He does.
I think he's about as good as Russell Brand.
Yeah. I think he's better than Russell Brand. At least I think Crowder's a Jesus follower.
He professes to be and acts like one, so
yeah,
I'll give him it.
I'll give it to him.
Which Russell Brand does not profess, but sort of acts and mentions that he's at least interested.
Yeah, I think he's an agnostic that's leaning toward wanting to know more about Jesus.
I think he is becoming
that's cool. I got to stand up. My
much
back's
more leaning that way. But yeah, and I don't want to point people to Russell Brand, only to say that people like Elon Musk and Russell Brand have the appearance of being very conservative these days because of how outrageously leaning and just crazy the mainstream media and people who call themselves Democrats have become. So they left people who can think for themselves, like Russell Brand and Elon Musk, just standing there in the middle.
Correct.
But yeah, I get a lot of mine from a gun forum, which is full of a lot of active and retired military and law enforcement.
Yep. I get a lot. I like, even though it's more left of center than I am, I do like to listen to the enemy. And I listen to Breaking Points. There is a mild conservative voice, on that, but,
I quit taking blood pressure medication, so I can't do that stuff anymore.
Yeah, no, I understand. But I mean, they are actually giving a very well-rounded look at what Ukraine is. They give a pretty good 3 days a week. I think their show is only on 3 days a week. And there's a legitimate, non-war hawkery,
Speak
segment.
Truth.
Speaking the truth. About
Speak Truth, the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Oh, Speak Truth, the YouTube channel. Sure. So pay attention. Project Veritas, I think is another decent one that you can.
I listen to Tim Pool, although only not live because I have to be able to skip. They go down some rabbit trails.
Yeah, he gets into the ancient aliens BS and the flat Earth stuff and things like that. Sometimes it just makes me crazy.
Yeah, well, he's an Occupy Wall Street cadet, so
yeah, right. So bottom line is, you're not going to find it in one place. There's not going to be an end all be all great source of news. I mean, I think Daily Wire is probably going to be your best bet if you're only going to join one membership. And again, they're not a sponsor. And like Phil and I have said in the past episodes, I've got to decide whether I'm going to be giving them any more money after this year or not.
Tough call.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, I like Shapiro and I like Walsh and I like a few of the other guys that are a part of the Daily Wire. But man, if they don't dump the trash,
they don't fire Christian Toto, I'm done.
Yeah, I can't give them any more money, and I'll let them know. But no, I would say, Meg, as far as living under a rock, there's nothing wrong with that actually right now, because I'd rather receive no information than lies. So just be careful. We comb through it so that we can talk about it, on the show. Hopefully we're getting really good sources. I mean, a few weeks ago I did the special report on the food places that were getting attacked, the distribution centers, Azure Standard, Walmart distribution centers, those kinds of things.
That's finally getting picked up.
It's finally getting picked up. So 2.5 weeks later,
called it.
We broke news that nobody else was talking about, and then it was so funny. So like one of the guys on YouTube that I like, and I know Phil doesn't always like him, but his name is Johnny B. He does Spicy Friday. He's more silly. He works for Pew Pew Tactical and does some gun reviews. Too. He's a really good friend of Thunder Ranch, and a few other people that I appreciate. We travel in the same circle, although we've never met. So Johnny did an episode about how everyone talking about 17 food distribution, you guys are weird, and maybe 3 or 4 of them are strange, but the rest of them, like, you're overreacting. And then the very next day, he came back and was like, you know what? You guys pushed back on me and you showed me some stuff, and I did a deep dive all day today.
Thanks, Mike.
And I'm I'm actually buying it now. Like I'm on the team. Like you're right, and I was wrong. And so I can appreciate someone who says, that I'm wrong. So thank you, Meg. That's very kind of you. I mean, and then actually that'd be a good leaping off point to talk about this, because you got some more information. You did a little bit more research on the food distribution centers. I know we've kind of whipped this horse quite a bit, but give us a little data here.
Oh, I don't know. No, I just noticed that it got picked up on a much larger venue.
Tucker's been talking about it.
Has he?
Yep.
Well, that makes sense because the guys from Drinking Bros podcast, he's on Tucker Carlson pretty frequently.
Oh, is he?
As a commentator? Yeah,
Oh,
correct.
okay.
So that would make some sense. Well, he had a guy on his show today. I was in the shower and I caught about half of it on the podcast. They started doing some deep dive research into each one of them over the last couple of years because it's not just happening in America; it's happening globally, which makes sense.
Right.
And they identified, I think, 26 or so that they decided would affect food chain, would actually matter.
Right.
And all the ones that we had mentioned, and we found like 22.
Right.
Their research showed 3 or 4 of them were nearly, 90%, probably were insurance jobs, more or less to, scams. 1 or 2 or they think legitimate accidents, flukes. But what they kept pointing out was really, really weird, and you have to agree, is that they happened at times when there were not people there. There was almost no loss of life, or if there was, it was like 1 or 2 people, and it was inadvertent that they weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
And that's what starts to become more and more suspicious.
Correct.
And because they won't get investigated if there's not loss of life. And as they started to point out, the FBI doesn't want to investigate these things because likely they're the ones perpetrating.
There's a solid chance.
There's a very solid chance.
If it's not Russia, it's somebody inside of our own country. And we know that this regime is entirely connected to the World Economic Forum. They are entirely connected to the Great Reset. And for the Great Reset to happen, there must be a cataclysmic event that causes the Great Reset. It must make everyone wholly dependent on the government. And
I should look up what that show is because those guys said the exact same thing you're saying
on Drinking Bros.
Yep.
Oh wow! I
exactly.
I did not get a chance to go watch. You told me to go.
No, you didn't listen to it, and you're saying stuff that you and I said. What was it? 2 weeks or 4 weeks ago? Honestly, it was a while
we talked. I went off on the major tangent of the Great Reset last week. And I kind of went, and you were actually talking about economic reset versus recession, and I kind of jumped in and was like, I read Glenn Beck's book this week, and and yeah, I felt bad afterward because I stepped on you, and you were like, yeah, that's actually kind of not what I was talking about, but it was a good topic, and and we needed to talk about it. But I mean, the World Economic Forum, this Klaus Jackwagon, whatever his name is, he's actively saying, from Davos and these other places, he's saying, look, in 7 years, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy about it. They don't want you to own your own property. They don't want you to grow food in the ground. They don't want you to have cattle, because cattle and growing food the way we grow food is contributing to climate change. And the only way to save the world is to kill you, right?
The carbon footprint of vegan and fake meat, all those things, is astronomically more than just having animals.
Absolutely.
The amount of space that it takes to grow vegetables and things that are the proteins and the soys and everything that gets used in vegetarian things and just takes up so much more space. The reality is God's very good at what he does, and he's already created the ultimate efficiencies. I don't know why we have to keep trying to mess with him and do it better. Other than it's people who hate God and by proxy hate you and me.
Absolutely.
And you know what that makes them? That makes them our enemies. And we need to start treating them as such and recognizing that this is a war that they've been declared and waging on us for a long time. We need to wake up and recognize that we're already at war. There are people 100%. Who hate us, hate our God, hate our children, hate our family, hate everything about us. And they're actively attacking us. It's time we do something about it.
Right. 100%. I love that I put a mouth of crunchers in. Like, I thought you were going to keep talking.
I have nothing good to say.
Nothing good to say. You had a lot. That was great. That was great.
No, it's just time.
We don't get Phil too fired up very often. Usually I do most of the talking, so I love it when you go off on things. So, I mean, I just think that at this point in history, we got to be really, really careful. Got to be careful. We got to be strategic about where we want to live, where we want to be. Right? Yeah. Are we going to stay those people that are glued and require proximity to metropolitan areas that are going to devour themselves and they're going to be allowed to devour themselves? This? Yeah.
Can you not put it down and get away from it?
Right. Exactly right. Exactly.
Do you even know how to call the people who matter the most to you without looking at it?
Ooh, good question. I did.
I mean, if you were to walk up to a random stranger and say, I need to call my spouse.
Right.
Right. Start memorizing some numbers. So I don't know. Do or don't. I'm in the camp of it's probably too late. If you're just waking up and starting now, just start getting ready for the FEMA camp. If you have something to offer, find somebody that is like us, not us, but find someone like us, and start exploiting what skills you do have. Be of worth.
Yeah, be of worth. Absolutely. And if you don't have skills,
it really is too late.
If you don't have skills, I mean, listen, here's the story, guys. Let's say that May 9th is the day. Like, let's say that you guys all look back on this episode.
Hypothetically. Yep. There you go. Hypothetically, that's the day.
Yep. Let's say hypothetically that May 9th is the day, and Russia turns the lights out, right? The EMP Commission says that there will be a 60 to 90% die off in America if we get EMP'd, if we shut off all
6 weeks, 90 days, something like that. It's quick.
I think it's within the first 6 months is what they said.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah.
So, so they flip the switch. Boom. Let's say the 9th is the day. Okay.
Okay.
If you don't have 6 months of food that you can ride out that initial die off, and you don't have a place that you can sustainably hold for that time,
at least against hungry neighbors
please understand that life's going to go really bad for you. Okay. And if you haven't, and if hypothetically May 9th is the day, there's not a lot you can do between now and May 9th. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do everything you can. Okay. I want you to pick up some more groceries. I want you to pick up some more ammo. I want you to pick up a self-defense tool. I want you to do those things. I want you to start dreaming about what it would look like if the 9th is not the day. Okay? Then you need to if it's not the day, what are you going to do the minute the 9th passes and we don't get the lights turned off? Whew. Okay, we made it. But let's be real. If that is the 9th, if the 9th is the day, okay, you're talking 3 days from today. All right? 3 days from today, if that's the day that they decide to turn the lights out.
What will you wish you had?
What do you wish you had?
Wish you had done?
You probably don't have time to get a ton of that stuff, you know?
No.
So, 1 second after.
Maybe you're just tuning in. But yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
That's exactly right, Meg. Everybody should read 1 second after. It is the most horrifying.
It's where I started. That's the first one that I read that got me into that genre. So what I would say is it's already happening now. The supply chain issues, the results we've all been saying for the last 2 years, let's not do this. Let's not do this. This whole 3 weeks to flatten the curve that became 2.5 years. The fallout of that is just catching up to us. It's just now catching up to us. So I know some people that are in the security camera business, right? And they do custom installations, and everybody's wanting to get, with the rampant crime and everything happening, and not just crime. You can't even trust the post office anymore to not steal your package. You need cameras everywhere. And they're being told it's 1 to 2 years out. The stock is gone. And those guys are running out of work. They're getting laid off because they don't have the equipment and can't get the equipment to keep doing their job. And that's what we're talking about, the body armor, right? The ceramics, the hard hat, veteran hats and stuff. There are limited supplies of those.
Yep. Well, in fact, actually, if you want anything besides extra large black multi,
whatever they did, whatever run they just did. Yeah.
You ain't getting.
I mean, we've been dealing with this for a
while.
while. Right now, you can get PMags. Right now, you can get 5.56 ammunition. Right now, you can get a bunch of stuff. Just do it. Just go get it. You know what? You can always trade it off later.
Palmetto State had the best deal on PMags the other day. If you bought 10 or more, you got free shipping, and I think they were like $10 a piece. Surplus ammo out of Montana. They used to be out of Washington. They relocated because they're a smart company.
Oh, good for them, because I actually refused to buy anything from them for several years because of where they were located.
Right. They still have a gun store in Tacoma, but their headquarters are now in Montana, and their ammo distribution center is in Montana, and that's where their business is located now.
Okay.
So you can buy a 10-pack of PMags for like $9.98 plus a little bit of shipping. So it usually works out to be about $112.
Anything under $12 a mag is
Wonderful.
an okay deal.
Wonderful.
You're not getting ripped off. Anything under $9 is a really good deal, as long as it's not some no-name junk. Anything made by Magpul is probably, I wouldn't go any lower than Magpul.
No.
They are the bottom of the line. They're acceptable and they work, but I have had failures. They're not perfect. I have switched 100% over to Daniel Defense.
And if I could afford it, I would.
And I've got some steel lip Lancers for all my AR-10s.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are rad. I do like steel lip Lancers. Those are cool.
Yep, steel lip Lancers. And I don't need a ton of those, so I think I only have 40 or so. No, I don't have that many. I think I have 20. A loadout for an AR-10 is not the same as a loadout for a carbine.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. But high capacity magazines, they sort of matter. If you don't have any, they matter a lot. If you have a couple, that's probably all you need. Those are not the end of the world. The food is kind of going to become the end of the world, but I don't think I've bought any food in 2 weeks now because the pricing has just gotten outrageous. The pricing and availability and all my big orders keep getting canceled. So
if you don't
probably I'm done.
If you don't have it, I'm really worried that I might be done. Yeah.
I think I'm done. I haven't been able to make a productive order in 2 weeks.
Got a bunch of wheat berries. Got my wheat berries. Got my beans and rice and beans. Right, as Dave Ramsey would say, beans and rice and beans. Right.
I've got canned proteins. I'm big into the corned beefs and chickens. I've got a lot of canned meat, stuff that'll last for 20 years. I have enough to support my family for more than a year, if it's all we ate.
If you guys are wondering,
that's not going to be how it goes down.
And speaking of food, just a little plug for what I'm doing.
If
you're wondering why fat guy shrinking is eating Cheetos, I'm not. These are my these are my Optavia. This is a fueling. So this is my vitamins,
running out of
minerals,
energy here.
protein. I'm not trying to crunch in your ear, guys, but like I got to eat my fuelings on a clock now because that's what's keeping me losing weight, and I'm really excited about that. But what I love about this company is I get a month of food at a time. Okay, so I get a month.
What do you
do
after the first 2 weeks? No.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good question. So,
no.
But and I'll just say this: I don't care whether you call me up and say, "Hey, I want to join Optavia. I want you to be my health coach or not." I mean, I'd love to, and I'd love to help you if you needed that. But what I do want you to do is go for a damn walk. I want you to go get your step count up. I want you to drink 4 of these a day. Okay? 4 of these a day and go for a walk. Like get some exercise, move your body. Like do something to get ready. Because if you're like who I was 15, 16 months ago, like don't stockpile food if you're just going to eat it all because you've got a food addiction you haven't addressed, right? Yeah. Like if you haven't gotten to a place where you can calorically restrict and you can walk in discipline to save your family's life, like don't stockpile it. Don't do it. You're going to waste it. You're going to blow it. You're not going to take it seriously. You're going to eat all the food because you've got health. You've got food relationship issues that you haven't walked through. Listen, it's tough. It's hard. It's awful. But one of the very first prep that I started with, No, that's not true because I started prepping before this. But when I got serious,
when you decided to do something about the weight.
Yeah, 16, 17 months ago, the very first prep that I started was losing weight, getting healthy. I knew that I was not going to be able to face the battle that was to come, the war that was to come by facing. I couldn't face those things at 450 pounds. Yes, Meg, fitness is a prep. Absolutely. Go every step you take that is outside of the norm. Okay? I want you to think about it like this. You don't normally get very active. You don't normally get up. You don't normally move around. Okay? Every step you take that is intentionally about going for a walk and getting more fit is 1 grain of rice in the bucket of preparedness. Every step. Okay?
Okay.
So get up, go for a walk, do some sit-ups. Restrict your caloric intake now so that it's not going to be an earth-shattering. You're not tempted to take food out of your kids' mouths, right? I wasn't going to sit across from my kid hungry, and know that I was going to be satiated or to be comfortable. I was going to have to take food away from him. Absolutely not. Not going to happen. So I needed my caloric intake to come down. I needed my discipline level to go up. I needed to be able to face the battle to come with strong legs and arms and ready for a fight. And listen, Christians, we got to be ready for a fight. There is a fight coming. There's a fight coming, right? And I mean, I love the I think his name is Toby Ngwewe. He's got that, try Jesus, not me, because I throw hands, right? So, that's a great song, I mean, you haven't heard it, Phil?
No?
Oh,
no.
Man. Oh, man. No, it's great. It's awesome. It's like
Concert in the bunker.
Concert in the bunker, man. Maybe we'll pull it into a screen share and go and watch.
It's almost bunker time here.
It is almost bunker time. We're coming up on an hour and a half. So,
if you want to join us in the bunker, here's how. Find us on Patreon, right? The links are out there. So if you're watching on Facebook, there is a pinned post that has a link to the Patreon, wherever a Patreon page. You have to be a member of Patreon. What does it cost? $2.98 a month, right? And I think you get about 30 days to try it before your card is charged.
Heck yeah, you could
join,
watch 3 or 4 episodes. If you hate it, you could just bounce before you get billed for it.
Just leave. We told them when we set up our account, don't charge anyone until the end of the month. So if you join one day before the end of the month, you might not get that trial period. If you would like to have it, we're allowed to refund your money. So just contact us.
Heck yeah. If you're like, this is stupid.
Yeah, if you don't like it, no big deal.
Ultimately, please join because you want to support what we're doing and try to get the word out. Because sometimes we don't do bunkers. We don't do it all the time. But when we go into the bunker, like we're going to go tonight, and usually there's a 10 to 15 minute changeover window. We go do a potty break.
I got to go potty.
We do those things, right? And then we're going to join in the bunker. Very rarely does anybody come. They usually watch it later, but you can watch it later, right?
If you get in there live with us, the floor is kind of up to the Patreons then.
Yeah, you guys can ask questions.
And we've done that. We've had patrons that, we put on a light carbine class one night, right? We did breakdown of carbine and basics and safety and, right?
100%.
And let's see, another patron, we did some tech stuff, was it? Another one we talked about gardening. I mean, we're all over the place.
Yeah, we did.
And if you want to see something, we've brought medic bags. We've brought, between you and me, we've got nearly every type of firearm that you could want to look at. Same with knives. We've got them pretty well covered. Holsters. You and I have got experience. I've been carrying a gun nearly every day of my life for 20, 25 years now, in all different settings.
Every day.
So
every day, all day. Every day, all day. If I'm not swimming,
Well, and I've done stuff where I have the stuff to go swimming too. No. So
I've been trying to come up with a swim holster.
You want to talk about shower holsters? We've got that covered. I've been in places where you took your firearm in the shower too.
My gun's in the bathroom when I'm showering. What if the ninjas come while I'm naked?
Then they get a show.
I'm going to beat them to death with my floppiness? Come on now.
Yeah. Thanks, Meg. We love it when you come to the bunker. So, yeah, if you want to follow with us, there is time right now to find us. If you're on YouTube, go to our main YouTube channel page. There is a link in there somewhere.
Right.
It's not that hard to find. The only problem is if you try to search for us on Patreon, that's more difficult. Because we do show firearms and talk about preparedness and use sometimes I love Jesus, but I say the F word sometimes. And so we have a restricted content and they won't show us in the search. And when you click on us, you have to say that you want to see mature content, and they make it seem like it's going to be porn. We just want everybody to know it's gun porn. Gun porn, knife porn, EMT bag porn, you name it. Truck porn, get out bag porn.
Yep. Tonight we're gonna watch. Tonight will be the debut video of the new
truck.
No, not the new truck. Mechanic still has COVID, so no new truck yet.
Only in Oregon do they still have COVID. It's like the only state left in the world that has COVID.
This dude had it bad because he had influenza A last week that sent him to the hospital. He got to the hospital, he caught COVID, and now it's like he's in pretty bad shape.
Well, he caught COVID from all the vaccinated hospital workers that have COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
and are working anyway because they don't know that they have it because they got vaccinated. Anyway, if you want to come to the bunker, there's still time. If you can't figure it out, you can send us a message. The Real Kirk will get the message if you do it through Facebook. So if you Facebook our page, the Prep Pastors, he'll get that. If you send me a message through YouTube, because you're watching on YouTube, I can get it there. I have it up right now. And we can send you a link or help you get there. With that said, I think we're going to hang it up here so we can get prepped to go get into the bunker. It's going to be a good bunker tonight. We're watching videos, we're doing show and tell. We always do an EDC drop. We drop our pockets and drop our pants and, show what's lurking. What? I lost you. Unmute.
We do not drop our pants.
I do. I got stuff inside my pants sometimes.
I drop pockets, not pants. But I am gonna drop the first video in prepping to bug out.
There we go. All right.
See you guys in about 15 minutes. Okay, so come and hang out with us. Come join us over on Patreon. We love you.